Out of the Box continues on Q1043.
You know, Lenny's won a bunch of Grammys, sold millions and millions of albums, and he's recently put out his 8th studio album, and Lenny joins me live right now. Welcome, Lenny.
Thank you. How you doing?
Doing great, and we thank you so much for doing this show. You know, this new record of yours, it's so great. It's called It's Time for a Love Revolution. You know, and I'm looking at the song titles here, and there is a lot of love on here. Songs like the title track and another one, Love, 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 and I Love the Rain, and Will You Marry Me? So talk about what the title of the new album means to you.
Well, you know, look at the world that we live in. And, you know, it's there's just major unrest in so many categories. And, you know, I really believe that it's time for those of us who believe in love, who believe in God, who believe in understanding and peace and all of these words. You know, it's time for us to really stand up and put a little more into our game, you know, and really represent. So, you know, that's where that whole thing came from.
Well, no doubt there are plenty of hot session musicians that would love to play with you on your records. But on this album, you've played most of the instruments yourself, and this is not the first time you've done this either.
No, you know, when I made my first album, Let Love Rule, I didn't have any money, and I made the record before I was signed, and you know, I couldn't afford to get people to come down and play. So the engineer who was working with me, Henry Hirsch, said, "Well, why don't you play it yourself? I've heard you play the different instruments around the studio." And I said, "Yeah, but you know, I'm just kind of messing around, you know." And he said, "Well, you should do it." And since I didn't have money, I had to do it, and that's where the first record came from. And it became my sound. It became my band, you know, and I've been doing it that way ever since.
Is it hard to sort of convey the ideas that you want, how your songs to go and the sound of them to other musicians? Because I'm a beginning songwriter myself. Sometimes it's hard to get exactly what you want, and it's sometimes better to do it on your own.
Well, that's the beauty of doing it. I mean, you know, doing it on your own is that you don't have to explain anything. You go in there and you paint. You know, it's I look at the studio like a blank canvas, and then all the instruments and sounds are my colors, and I go in there and I just do my thing. And not only that, I get so much joy out of playing instruments. I love playing drums. You know, I love playing bass and pianos and organs and all that. So, you know, along with the guitar. So it's just really fulfilling, to tell you the truth, you know?
You know, and I read that one of the reasons that you and your longtime collaborator, I'm not sure if you're working with Henry Hirsch still, but...
Henry Hirsch is my engineer, yeah. I've been, you know, producing all my albums all these years, and he's been engineering them all these years, giving me the most incredible sounds I could want, and... you know, we're still together. Yes, we are.
And there's some good sounds on there. And you guys evidently shared an interest in this sort of old school recording technique and vintage instruments. And on this album, you know, you said the feeling you got with this new album actually feels like the one you had on Let Love Rule.
Well, it's a different sounding record sonically. I mean, it's completely different, but there's a similar spirit to the record. And as far as vintage equipment goes, you know, it's really not that we're trying to go back to something or that we're being romantic, because a lot of people sort of misinterpret that. We just compared all of the equipment back in the day to what was current, and the old equipment beat it. It just beat it. Far better sounding, more pure, more organic, and so forth. So that's just the way I like to do it. I think it brings out a lot of character in the instruments.
Well, you know, I've seen some of the, the gorgeous vintage guitars you play. So give me your top three for an avid guitar collector. Myself, Mark Coppola here at the station, we try and collect guitars. We don't have your collection, but give me your top three, your favorites.
Oh man, my studio guitar is it's a gold top. I believe it's a 58 Les Paul, and it never leaves the studio. You know, remember the guy in Spinal Tap? Don't even look at it. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Don't look at it. I have a group of custom color Strats that are kind of my favorite to just look at and play. You know, at home. You know, all the various different custom colors. I also have a 3 pickup black Les Paul. I'm not sure of the year, but it's late 50s. And I think it originally might have had a Bigsby on it.
Right.
But it's taken off. But those are sort of some of my favorites. And then I've got, beautiful. See, you got me talking about guitars, man. See,
hey, dude, seriously.
You can't. And then and then.
Well, you know what it is? It's like, I think these guitars, and, anyone who's picked up one of these Les Pauls that you got, or, similar like Fenders and things, they're sort of like modern art. They're almost like old Corvettes or Mustangs.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, they're not making it anymore like that. I mean, Gibson's making beautiful guitars today. But, that wood that's been aged and it's dry and it's, you can't mess with it. And the old PAFs and, it's just like, people that buy, the Stradivarius violins and so forth, or, a certain harpsichord or whatever. I mean, or cellos, and it's like that, it definitely is.
Jonathan Clarke live with Lenny Kravitz here on Q1043's Out of the Box. Lenny, there's a song on here that has that signature Lenny Kravitz rock anthem sound about it. And the song I'm talking about is this song, such a kick-ass song, Bring It On. Talk about that.
That actually, that was written literally in about 5 minutes in the studio. I was playing with a guitar and an amp, just sort of trying to get a sound out of it. And I just started playing that very, very simple, riff. And it just felt like something. So I stopped doing what I was doing. I was recording another song at the time, and I just stopped, went right in there, cut that, jumped on the drums, did the overdubs, and sang it. And it was just done. It was just one of those really quick things. And I loved the track very much. And then a couple months later, I was listening back to it, and I was feeling that there was something missing. And I kept hearing this sort of overtone on the guitar that sounded like a sitar. And I called Anushka Shankar, who was so beautiful enough to play on the track. And
Anushka is related to
She's Ravi Shankar's daughter, yes.
Okay, cool, yeah.
Who obviously is the master sitar player of the universe.
Of course.
And she's right there next to him. I mean, she's absolutely an amazing musician. I've learned so much from her and listening to her music.
Hey, those sitars, they're like hard on your fingers too. I don't know how they do it, man.
No, it's hardcore. I went to Carnegie Hall to see the two of them play together, which was a life experience, and it's a trip.
Jonathan Clarke live with Lenny, and Lenny, your mom, of course, the legendary Roxy Roker from the Jeffersons. And now here's a strange question: are you related to Al Roker?
There was a lot of speculation that we were. I'm not sure. We might be, we might not be. But he's a cool guy, and whenever I see him, it's like, hey, cuz, and funny enough, my grandfather's name was Albert Roker. It was Al Roker. So yeah.
And I saw you at the Hammerstein a few months back. You really put on an awesome concert, and I was thinking then, man, I wish Lenny did more shows in New York, and now I'm looking at your tour itinerary here, and you are about to undertake this ridiculously massive tour of Europe and Canada, like through November.
Well, yeah, we're starting in 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks. We're going to do 3.5 months in Europe, from Russia all the way down to Spain. We're going to go to Japan and do Japan, several different cities in Japan. Then I'm going to come to America, and we'll do, I don't know, a month and a half or so. And then I'll go to South America. And then I'm going to come back to America, and I'm going to stay for 6 or 7 months and do what you're saying. I'm going to tour all over the United States, up and down, in every corner I can go. Because it's been a while.
Yeah. And so New York, any month you got in mind that we can see you back here again?
Well, I'm sure I'll be doing... on the first leg, which is just the startup leg, which is in November and December.
Okay.
I'm not sure where we'll be playing, but we will be coming through New York, no doubt.
I want to play this other song in your record now. So other than Love, what is the inspiration for this song, Love, Love, Love?
Well, it's just saying, like the chorus says, there ain't nothing you can give me. I'm already there, Things are nice, and it's great to have things, and